Hi guys, welcome back to Small Talks. I'm your host, Aaron De Guzman, and let's get started. Okay, so last week I was unable to shoot a video because we were renovating, as you can see. So, welcome to the new set of Small Talks, and let's get started on today's topic. So, let's check the computer and let's see what we have. Okay, so the topic for today is how to be financially stable. Now, this is a common problem, especially for young people who are just starting out in working. Now, there are a lot of problems when you first receive your paycheck. You feel like since you have no responsibilities, you can do almost anything that you want. But I'm here to tell you that if you don't take your finances seriously, you could end up in big trouble along the way. So, here are some 10 tips that has helped me and could probably help you in making yourself a little bit more financially stable. Please note that financial stability is a long and arduous process and cannot be done overnight. But let's get started. So, tip number one, learn to save. Okay? It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be small. You just have to save. You have to get into the habit of saving your paycheck. You don't have to go through life moving from paycheck to paycheck. Okay? Especially if you don't have responsibilities just yet. If you don't have kids, if you're just starting out, learn to save. Okay? You'll thank yourself later. Okay, so tip number two, curb your impulse spending. A lot of kids out there don't know what to do with their first paycheck. Okay? Especially if you don't have responsibilities just yet. A good way to do this is to understand wants and needs. Okay? Sometimes, a lot of kids don't know the difference between what they want and what they need. For example, you want a new iPhone 11 Pro. Okay? It cost about 60 to 70,000 pesos in the market, and then you think to yourself, I want to buy this. You should question yourself then, why? If you don't have a good reason, don't buy it. Or better yet, if you have a good reason, ask yourself, why should I buy this? And do I have enough money left whenever I'm going to buy this? So tip number three, learn to live poorly even if you're rich. Okay? You should always keep your cost of living a minimum. Okay? Even if you get a promotion, even if you get some sort of bonus, you should always look to lower your expenses, especially cost of living. A lot of kids fall into the trap of when they get a promotion, when they go have a higher salary, tend to spend too much and get in debt. Okay, guys, keep it simple, keep it cost effective, and you'll survive. So, tip number four, learn to invest. I'm not talking about just investing into properties, stocks, and all of those things. While good in paper, you should invest in those, but primarily you should focus on investing in yourself. Find your hobbies, find your talent, find something that's you're passionate about. Because when you invest in yourself, along the way you'll find that sometimes your hobbies can make you into a little bit more profitable. Okay, if your skills, if you have marketable skills, you can invest in those. You could get a bachelor's degree, you could get a master's degree, all of those things. Just learn to invest in yourself. You should also invest in your health, you should also invest in your future, and you should always invest in making yourself a little bit richer every day. A good example of this are stocks, bonds, insurance, and whatever else you're thinking of. And education, of course. Education is important. Okay? Education can beat all of those three that I've mentioned earlier. Okay? But you should always learn which is a good investment and which is a bad investment. And it's simply this. A good investment will make you money, and a bad investment will cost you money. So, good investments make you money, bad investments cost you. You shouldn't buy a house, you shouldn't buy a car if you're just going to live with it, because it's not going to make you any money. Tip number five, Don't be a burden to your family. Okay? A lot of Filipino cultures have this kind of mentality in which they don't plan for the future, especially if they have kids, because they're going to think that upon graduation, upon they have their jobs, they would indebt those kids. Alright? They would make those kids feel that they are owed a life debt for feeding them, for clothing them, and for all of the other necessities because they took care of them when they're kids. Okay? If you have the means to be better, then you should take it. Alright? Don't treat your kids as future meal tickets. Don't do that, guys. Time to break the cycle now. So tip number 6, avoid debt. Okay? Debts should be avoided like the COVID-19 virus. Okay, guys? Because when you're in debt, you're going to find it difficult to get out of it. Because once you start accumulating debt, it's going to be hard to get out of it. And then you end up finding another person to be indebted to. Okay, let me give you an example. Credit card debts. You spend money you don't have on stuff that you don't need. Why would you do that? Out of YOLO? Out of FOMO? Come on, be realistic. Why do you need to buy it? Why do you have to go through the 2-year process of docking your pay, deducting 2,000 pesos on a new phone that you don't even need? Okay? So avoid that, guys. If you don't need it, don't buy it. And if you don't buy it, use the money to save. Okay? If you get into debt, make sure you get out of it. Okay? As fast as possible. You don't want to accumulate debt for a long time. Okay? It's an inconvenience for you. It's the inconvenience of the lessor, the person who gave you the money. And it's an inconvenience to your daily expenses. Okay, guys? You don't want to be worrying debt every 30th and 15th of the month. Okay? So, avoid that as much as possible. Tip number 7. Pay your bills ASAP. Okay? Every payday, you should already know what you're going to pay. You should already know what are due and what do you need to allocate your money to. Okay? If you don't know, you'll end up in debt because let's say you forget to pay your electric bill. What happens? You're brown out. You don't have any money. You have to owe someone else to pay your bills. Then you're in debt and the cycle restarts itself. Okay? So every payday, make sure that you know how much you're going to save and how much you're going to pay your bills. Okay, guys? Okay, tip number 8. Keep working and always learn. Okay? If you're given an opportunity to work, take that as a blessing. Work hard. Okay? Learn to take side hustles or sidelines. It doesn't have to be a big payday. In fact, you can take the smaller jobs that you need that can pay you. Because if you build that habit, you will never go hungry because you'll always be able to work hard. And never stop learning, guys. Learning is an everlasting process. It takes a lifetime to master because every day you learn something new about the world. And it helps you build skills and practices that could help you in the future to come. Okay? You should have mentors, you should have experience, and you should have all of those things in the end so that you'll know what to do whenever it happens next. Whether success or failure, it's not a matter of which is a win or lose. Okay? Success should teach you how or what you did right. And failure should be what am I supposed to do better. Okay? You need to stop worrying about failing. Keep learning and work hard for your dreams. That is one way to be financially stable. Tip number 9. Learn your net worth. Okay? Your net worth is a combination of your cash flow, assets and liabilities. You should be able to know whenever you're buying an item which is an asset and which is a liability. Okay? An asset generates money for you. A liability costs you money. A good example of this is a car. Let me explain. A car can be as an asset and as well as a liability. Take this for example. If you buy a car for the purposes of opening it for Grab, opening it for Uber, or opening it to start a taxi franchise, then that's an asset. The liability comes when you buy a car for the sake of buying a car. Think about it. You would take out a 5-year loan from the bank just to buy a car. Who does that? For every payday, you'll be deducted the monthly, not to mention the registration cost, the insurance cost, fuel, and other miscellaneous items. Especially if you're not being shouldered by the company. Just something to think about, guys. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy a car. Just make sure that you don't go broke trying to buy one. Okay, tip number 10. Have fun. Financial stability is a long and hard process similar to the pursuit of education and fitness. Okay? I'm not saying that you shouldn't buy the things that make you happy. I'm just saying everything has its purpose and time. Okay? Don't buy things out of impulse. Learn to evaluate yourself. Learn to understand your financial standings. And make sure that when you buy something, you're not going to be indebted. Okay? These are luxury items. And we're just human. I mean, we like new things. We like stuff. We like new stuff. All I'm asking is that you take a second to evaluate everything before you make a tremendous purchase, before you make some life-altering decisions, or whether or not you want to follow the trendy buzzwords such as YOLO and FOMO. Okay, guys? And that is it, guys. 10 tips on how to be financially stable. Now, your experience may vary, and I hope that this thing helps you in some way. Okay? If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. And as always, I'll see you soon.